now witness the firepower of this fully armed and operational battle station.
سامانه راداری کاوش تولای مولایشان رساندند با قابلیت عملیات کشف، رهگیری و انهدام انواع اهداف متقاسم و موشک‌های بالستیک در تمامی شرایط آب و هوایی مختلف. الله اکبر. شیر از سینه سهند و سبلان و البند نوشیدند با بستن سربند و نخبگان حوزه دفاعی در صنعت هوایی بوده با رویکرد مبتنی بر بازدارندگی مؤثر می باشد.
All right, shalom, shalom. This is the brother Shakar here with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai. Before I get started, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahushai Ba'Hashem Rakak Quadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned this truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom. All right, I'm going to get started here in the book of Joel, because you're seeing, okay, these nations, especially, you just saw that, parade, okay, that Iran put together, okay, showing off their arsenal, man, their weapons of mass destruction. You see, so you got the nations, okay, and it's not just Iran, you got North Korea, and other nations. They possess, okay, this military power, man. But let me get this in the book of Joel, chapter 3, and now I'm going to start off in verse 9. And it says, proclaim ye this among the Gentiles. It says, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. Let all the men of war draw near, let them come up. See, and those are those nations, okay, that are preparing themselves for World War III. See, the Lord is putting in the minds of these leaders, okay, to get themselves ready, okay, for this great war, okay, that's getting ready to come forth. It says, beat your plowshares into swords and your pruning hooks into spears. So instead of using monies or funds, for the use of, for agriculture, okay, for things of that nature, now they're using those monies for what? For weapons. You see? And it says, let the weak say, I am strong. See, and before, these nations were considered weak because they didn't have, this military arsenal. But now they got the weapons, man. They got the weapons that can match, okay, so-called America, or whatever other country, okay, that they might have to go to war with, especially when it comes to so-called America, in the land of Israel. Because right now you have the confrontation, okay, between Israel, okay, well, the Israelis and Iran. But ultimately, like the scripture says, hey, the least of the flock shall draw them out. Because ultimately, okay, when this happens, okay, it's going to draw out so-called America, right into World War III. And then that's gonna draw out Russia, China, and all these other nations that are going to be joined, okay, unto Russia, man. But make no mistake about it, man. These nations, they have the capability, okay, of these weapons of mass destruction. Let me go to the book of Isaiah. I'm actually going to get this. Let me get this in the Good News Translation. Let me get this real quick. This is Isaiah chapter 54. And let's go to verse 16. And it says, see, I create the blacksmith, see, who builds a fire and forges weapons. You see, now who is the modern day blacksmith? Okay, that's the scientist, man. Okay, those that are split the atoms. Okay, going back to what Operation Paperclip. Okay, the Manhattan Project. Okay, when you had half of the German scientist. Okay, which is Tiemann. Okay, the smart guys, okay, the smart, according to what those are the lineage of Esau. Okay, the smarter ones, okay, of the Edomites. They're the ones that have split the atoms. Okay, brought forth, okay, these weapons, okay, of mass destruction, man, through the power and spirit, okay, Yahweh Shem Yoshai, because he's given them, okay, that knowledge, okay, that know-how to do these things. Again, it says, I create the blacksmith who builds a fire and forges weapons. You see? In the ancient times, what would a blacksmith? He would make knives, swords, okay, daggers, so on and so forth. But today, modern day weapon, okay, is those missiles. It says, I also create the soldier who uses the weapons to kill. You see, in Esau, okay, he is that soldier, man. It tells you what in, let me get this real quick. What is that? Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse, see, that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon, listen, to take peace from the earth, that they should kill one another. See, and there was given unto him a great sword, and that's his blessing, man, to have that sword. You see in that ultimate sword, okay, is the weapon of mass destruction, man. Okay, the warheads, the missiles. You see, and he was given, the scripture says the earth was given into the hands of the wicked, because Esau, okay, they are the wicked. The scripture calls them the border of wickedness. So wherever they've been scattered to, whether they're in Russia, whether they're in Germany, or throughout Europe, here in so-called America, okay, wherever. Okay, they're the wicked of the earth, man. You see, and they have the blessing of the sword. So let me go back. Let me read that again. Isaiah 54:16. It says, I create the blacksmith who builds a fire, see, and forges weapons. Say, I also create the soldier who uses the weapons to kill. See, and the Lord also he likens, okay, those warheads or those missiles to soldiers, man. Because, hey, these weapons of mass destruction, okay, they weren't created just to sit in a museum, okay, or they just were not made to just be paraded around, okay? No, they were made, okay, to destroy, man. They were made, okay, to kill. And again, the Lord compares these weapons to an army, to soldiers. Let me go to the book of Joel. I'll go back to Joel, but this time let me go to the second chapter. This is the book of Joel, chapter 2, and I'm going to start at the top. It says, blow ye the trumpet in Zion, see, and sound an alarm in my holy mountain. It says, let all the inhabitants of the land tremble, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yoshai cometh, for it is nigh at hand. See, and the return of the Lord is very close. You see, and he's going to return in the midst, okay, of World War III, man. That's why the trumpet's got to be blown. It's being blown, okay, the warning, okay, of these things that are coming. Okay, Jacob's trouble, okay, the mandatory implementation, okay, of the mark of the beast, okay, which is the microchip. You see, again, the alarm, okay, is being sounded, man. See, the warnings, okay, are going out. Listen, it says a day of darkness and of gloominess, a day of clouds and of thick darkness, as the morning spread upon the mountains. See, listen, a great people and a strong, there hath not been ever the like, neither shall be any more after it, even to the years of many generations. See, the Lord is comparing, okay, the missiles to a great people, man, an army. You see, and the Lord's only going to have to use, okay, this army one time, man. Okay, once his army is used, okay, for that destruction. Okay, once these missiles are used, the warheads are used, okay, to bring that fire, okay, upon so-called America, Babylon the Great, okay, and wherever else he's allotted that destruction to come forth. Okay, they're never going to be used again, man. Listen, a fire devoureth before them, and behind them a flame burneth. The land is as the garden of Eden, before them, and behind them a desolate wilderness. Yea, and nothing shall escape them. So nothing's going to escape the destruction coming from those missiles. You see, especially here in so-called America, you see a lot of beautiful parks, beautiful lakes, mountain regions. There's all kinds of beautiful landscapes here in so-called America. You see, but once those missiles, are brought forth, once those missiles, but you see, once those warheads, come forth, it's going to leave all those places desolate, man. And again, nothing's gonna escape. Everything's gonna be destroyed here in so-called America. From sea to shining sea, it's gonna be a lake of fire. Listen, the appearance of them is as the appearance of horses, and as horsemen, so shall they run. See, and horse represents what? Power. So this army of the Lord, which is the missiles, they're gonna come with great power, with great force. It says, like the noise of chariots on the tops of mountains shall they leap, like the noise of a flame of fire that devoureth the stubble, as a strong people set, in battle array. See, so again, these missiles are going to look, like a great army, man. You see, and just like a fire, how they will, I actually pulled this up for the sake of the lesson. Let me get it. See, a fire, it'll make noises, man. But let me get this real quick. I Googled this earlier. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah. It says, listen, it says fire can make a variety of sounds, including crackling, snapping, popping, and roaring and hissing, depending on its size, intensity, and the materials it's burning. You can only imagine all the oil, all the gas. Everything here in so-called America, man, it's going to be a roaring fire. The scripture even tells you that the people, are going to be fuel for the fire. It says the intensity of the fire also influences the type of sound it produces. For example, a small controlled campfire will typically crackle, while a large intense fire, like a forest fire, will roar, man. And now, if you come down here, it says, listen, it says, what sound do fires make? Listen, and this is a roaring fire. Listen, it sounds like a jet engine at the airport when you're sitting there and the jet throttles up. Well, imagine if that jet throttles up, but it is fastened hard to the tarmac at the airport. It's just a roaring sound, you see? So that's a sound that this fire is going to make, man. You see, because this is going to be a great fire. It ain't going to be no little fire that's going to snap, crackle, and pop. No, man, this fire is gonna produce a great sound, man, a great noise. So let me go back to Joel. Listen, it says, before their face, the people shall be much pained. Again, when they hear that noise, when they see the missiles, they're gonna be afraid. Listen, all faces shall gather blackness. So they're gonna be in terror, man. It says they shall run. Now, this is going back to the missiles. They shall run like mighty men. They shall climb the wall, like men of war. And they shall march every one on his ways, and they shall not break their ranks. You see, so they're not going to go astray, man. Everywhere that they've been designated to hit, they're going to hit. Listen, neither shall one thrust another. They shall walk every one in his path, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. You see, so again, they're going to stay in formation, man. Everywhere where the Lord has designated these missiles to hit, they're going to hit, man. And then when you have the defense system, the missile defense system, go against them, come against these missiles, it's not going to do anything to them, man. They're probably just going to miss, because so-called America ranks very low, very poor in their missile defense systems. So they got a strong offense, but when it comes to defense, they rank very poorly. Listen, it says, they shall run to and fro in the city, the great city, America, so-called America, Babylon the Great. It says, they shall run upon the wall, they shall climb up upon the houses. It says, they shall enter in at the windows like a thief. See, the windows going into the firmament, man. Because these missiles, these warheads, they're going to come out of the sky, man. Again, it's going to be a terrible sight, for the people when they see these things. It says, the earth shall quake before them. the heavens shall tremble. Yeah, the heavens, okay, going into what? Well, yeah, the actual, the actual sky, but also what? The heavens, meaning what? These rulers, man. And they're going to be afraid, man. Because the earth is, well, it tells you in Isaiah, the 24th chapter, the earth is going to reel to and fro, man. Okay, from the destruction, from the missiles, okay, pelting the earth. Again, it says, the earth shall quake before them, the heavens shall tremble. It says, the sun and the moon shall be dark, and the stars shall withdraw their shining. Yeah, because that smoke is going to cover, okay, the light from the sun, the light from the moon, and the light from the stars, man. Okay, there's going to be smoke everywhere. It says, and the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai shall utter his voice before his army. You see, the Lord going to lead, okay, the army of missiles, man. Okay, his spirit's going to be in the missiles. It says, for his camp is very great, for he is strong that executeth his word. It says, for the day of the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai is great, see, and very terrible. It says, and who can abide it? See, and ultimately that's going to be the elect, whoever they may be, man. Okay, they're going to be able to come forth, okay, into salvation, man. They're going to be delivered, okay, in the chariot, okay, or chariots, however the Lord does it. You see? All right, let me get one more. Let me go to the book of Job. Let's go to the book of Job. Actually, I'm gonna get it in the NLT because I want to get a word, okay, from Job the 20th chapter. Job 20, and let me start. I'm going to start at verse 22. It says, see, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. See, when this devil thinks he's going to win, okay, he's going to be put into a position of difficulty. You see, it says, every hand of the wicked should come upon him. See, and when you go into that word wicked, okay, let me get it. It's going to go into what? The laborers, man, the working class. And you see that already. That's why you're seeing already the uproars of the people. Okay, but it's going to get worse. Okay, it's going to lead into what? These race riots. Okay, these gender wars. Okay, just people being in an uproar, man. Let me see here. That word is H6001. Let me play it.
Strong's H6001. A male.
See, and that goes into what? Laborer, sufferer. You see, those that are suffering, okay, under this man's cruel rulership, man. In Isaiah 19th chapter, it calls him what? It calls him the cruel Lord. You see, and that's what you have right now, man. Okay, you have this man, okay, Esau, okay, ruling what? In cruelty with their unrighteous decrees. Let me get that real quick. Isaiah chapter 10 and verse 1, it says, woe unto them, see, that decree unrighteous decrees and that right grievousness which they have prescribed. That's why you see, the deportation. Okay, you see, citizens, okay, being taken, to El Salvador, man, to prison. You see, and that's just part of the persecution that's coming, man. Okay, going into what? Those prison houses, man. Does the scripture say that some of you should be thrown into prison? Okay, the devil's going to throw some of you into prison. That's speaking about the so-called white man, Esau, man. The one that's in the power seat position. You see? Hey, things are going to continue to get worse. Things will not get better, man. And it's all to the what? You see, and it's all to the what? Their draconian laws, man. Hey, these devils, they're getting ready to be unfair, man. You see, things are going to be unfair. You see, and they're going to try to push their agenda, man. Of putting a microchip in everybody, man. You see, this was coming. All right, let me go ahead and go back to Job, the 20th chapter. And I'll read verse 22 again. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. You see, and that's already happening, man. Again, the uproars of the people. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him. You see, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. Again, when he thinks he's going to be able to chip everybody, okay, he's not going to be able to, man. He's going to lose. He's going to get a lot of people. You see, but the elect, whoever they may be, they're not going to go for it, man. The scripture says that they shall deceive the very elect if it were possible. It's not possible. So just when this devil thinks he's going to win, the Lord going to what? He's going to bring that fire upon him. He's going to rain it upon him. Listen, he shall flee from the iron weapon, the missiles, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. Again, the missiles. It says, it is drawn, it cometh out of the body. Yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him, man. You see, in that body, it represents what? The nuclear silos, man. It says terrors are upon him because what does it tell you in Job, the 18th chapter, that he shall be brought to the king of terrors. You know what? Let me go ahead and get that. This is the book of Job, chapter 18. And you know what? I might as well get it. I'm going to start off in verse 5. It says, yea, the light of the wicked shall be put out. See, and the spark of his fire shall not shine. Hey, so he's getting ready, okay, to lose his rulership, man. Okay, Lucifer, the light bearer, the false, he's bearing the false light. Okay, but he's even going to lose that. It says, the light shall be dark in his tabernacle, and his candle shall be put out with him. It says, the steps of his strength shall be straightened, and his own counsel shall cast him down. It says, for he is cast into a net by his own feet, and he walketh upon a snare. It says, the jinn shall take him by the heel, and the robber shall prevail against him. Yeah, because he's in a trick bag, man. Okay, the Lord is setting a trap for this devil, man. It says, and shall take him by the heel. Does not the scripture say that Jacob held the heel of Esau? Okay, that represents what? Esau's rulership getting ready to be pulled down, man. Okay, and who was the ultimate Jake, man? Yahushai. Okay, and the robber shall prevail against him. The destruction that's coming. Okay, he's not going to be able to escape it. It says the snare is laid for him in the ground, and the trap for him, see, in the way. It says terror shall make him afraid on every side, and shall drive him to his feet. Because he's going to be like, oh shit, because he's not going to be able to get away, man. He's not going to get out of it. It says his strength shall be hunger bitten, and destruction shall be ready at his side. It shall devour the strength of his skin. Listen, even the firstborn of death shall devour his strength. See, and who's the firstborn of death? Yahushai, man. Again, the ultimate Jake that's going to pull down, okay, this devil by the heel, man. Going to take away his rulership. It says his confidence shall be rooted out of his tabernacle, and it shall bring him to the king of terrors. You see? And the king of terrors is what? Is a title, okay, for Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. But the Lord is sending his son, Yahushai, man. You see? It says, it shall dwell in his tabernacle, because it is none of his. Listen, brimstone shall be scattered upon his habitation. Let me read that in the NLT. It says the homes of the wicked will burn down. Burning sulfur rains on their houses. Okay, what's that burning sulfur represent? Okay, the missiles. It says their roots will dry up and their branches will wither. All memory of their existence will fade from the earth. No one will remember their names. As it says in the King James, it says, and he shall have no name in the street. Okay, because they're ultimately going to be done away with, man. It says they will be thrust from the light into darkness, driven from the world, man. See, a trading of places. Okay, they're going to go from riches to rags, man. It says they will have neither children nor grandchildren, nor any survivor in the place where they lived. You see, just like what does it tell you in Isaiah what does it say in Isaiah the 14th chapter? Prepare slaughter for his children for the iniquity of their fathers, man. Okay, they're going to be done away with. Obadiah 1:18. It says people in the west, see, are appalled at their fate. People in the east are horrified. Because it's going to be a gruesome sight, man. The destruction of so-called America, going to be a big lake of fire, man. It says they will say, listen, this was the home of a wicked person, the place of the one who rejected the Most High. You see, and that's what's getting ready to come. Okay, to this damn devil, man, a destruction. Okay, a land of the scripture said the scripture calls it what after the destruction, the stones of emptiness and the lines of confusion. You see, you're not gonna be able to tell where anything was at. That's how bad this place is gonna be uprooted. But let me go back to Job 20, and I'm just gonna go ahead and finish off Job 20, and I'm gonna read. Let me see. I'll read verse 25 again. It says, "It is drawn and cometh out of the body, yea, the glittering sword cometh out of his gall. Terrors are upon him." Again, that body represents the silos. It says, "All darkness shall be hidden in secret places. See, a fire not blown shall consume him. It shall go ill with him that is left in his tabernacle." So those are out of the lineage of Esau, man. Okay, it's not going to go good for them. Okay, they're going to be consumed, okay, with that destruction. It says, "The heaven shall reveal his iniquity, and the earth shall rise up against him." See, and you see that already happening, man. His iniquity is being revealed. Okay, he's being exposed for the devil, okay, that he is. Okay, the devil that the Bible speaks about. It says, "The increase of his house shall depart, and his goods shall flow away in the day of his wrath." Let me read that in the NLT. It says, "The flood will sweep away their house." A flood of what? A flood of fire, man. It says, "The Most High's anger will descend on them, see, in torrents." Let me get that word. Let me see what that definition. Let me get it real quick. For torrents. Let me see. It says, "A strong and fast-moving stream of water or other liquid." See, and it's going to be a what? It's going to be a fast, okay, moving stream of what? Fire, man. Listen. It says, "A sudden, violent, and copious outpouring of something." Hey, man, that's gonna be that destruction, okay, by those nuclear warheads, man. A sweeping agent, the besom of destruction. Let me see what it says for. Let me see. Let me get that word copious. It says abundant in supply quantity. Yeah, it says an abundant in supply or quantity, man. Hey, the scripture tells you there's going to be what? 200 million missiles, man. 200 million warheads. You know, let me get that in the, let me get that real quick. What is that? The book of Revelation. Let me get that real quick. The book of Revelation, chapter 9 and verse 16. It says, actually, let me start up in verse 15. It says, "And the four angels were loosed, which were prepared, listen, for an hour and a day and a month and a year, for to slay the third part of men." You see, going into what? You have the Son of God, okay, the Son of the Most High, which is the Israelites. Okay, you got the Son of Men, okay, which is the other nations. Okay, and then you got the sons of the wicked, man. The Edomites. You see, so all the Edomites, okay, here in so-called America, they're going to be destroyed, man. You know, but that's also going to include what? The destruction of the nations, okay, and even 2/3 of our own people right here in so-called America, man. Nothing's going to survive here. You see? But it says in the number, okay, but here's the point. It says in the number of the army, see, the army, the Lord's army, right? Of horsemen were 200,000, and I heard the number of them, 200 million, man. 200 million warheads are getting ready to come upon so-called America, Babylon the Great, man. It's going to be a destruction, okay, that like never's been before, man. So let me go back to Job. I'm going to finish off, and that'll be it. Job 20, and I'll read verse 28 again. It says, "The flood will sweep away their house." Again, that besom of destruction. It says, "The Most High's anger will descend on them in torrents." Again, there's going to be a copious, okay, a large amount of missiles, man. 200 million. It says, this is the reward that the Most High gives the wicked. Hey, this was coming, for Esau, man. And to even 2/3 of our own people and the nations, because, hey, they're all going to be numbered together, man. Right here in so-called America. It says, it is the inheritance decreed, see, by the Most High. You see, it's been appointed to them. You see? So with that, Lord willing, this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakak Quadash, and double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of the great millstone from which I learned his truth. Peace and blessings to the house of David, doing his work with all righteousness, truth, and sincerity. And I want to say shalom to the whole full elect. Shalom.